Alrighty, so this video, I'm not doing no editing because you know what? I ain't getting paid to do no editing. So then there you go. What have I been doing aside from sitting on my ass? I have been working nonstop. I've been working nonstop since 2020. When I say nonstop, I do literally mean 24/7. I decided at the end of April, you might as well say May, to leave social media. And my poison was Facebook. And I was on Facebook, in my opinion, 7 years too long. And when it's just not a safe space for indigenous people or people of color. The censorship, the bullying, the attacks, not that I don't like to spar every now and then, but it's just not healthy at all. Too much time, too much energy for what? A bunch of mentally unstable strangers. One thing that seems to be consistent across the board, no matter whose video that you watch, is that this pseudo parasocial relationship that you form with people online is not real. Because when you step away from those platforms, you may have one or two people check on you. So it's like, is that really a good foundation? No, it's not. Because you could seriously be going through something mentally, but nobody really gives a fuck. I mean, it's just a reality. They don't really care because nobody is checking on you like, are you good? Like, everything good? You need anything? Because it's not a real relationship. Okay, so that's the first thing. I didn't realize how addicted I was to the scrolling until I stopped scrolling. So the first, I would say the first week, my brain wanted that endorphins from the scrolling, so I would obsessively check my freaking email and refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? But that tapered off and phased away. Thank goodness. And I'm like, wow, I did not understand the addiction, the purposeful addiction that is done with social media, with the scrolling and the checking and the seeing what somebody said. I mean, it's like it becomes your everyday life, so you don't see just how toxic it is. So I did that, and immediately I felt, within 2 days, I felt a sense of peace, complete and total peace. Like I was not being bombarded by other people's anxieties and issues and complaints, and I didn't feel compelled to have to engage or comment or just see their stuff, right? It's like, it's almost like voyeurism. It's really, really weird when I'm seeing someone's children that I don't really know them, but I'm seeing when they was a baby and grew up in this. It's weird. It's crazy. I'm old school. I'll be 49 July the 27th, so we didn't have the internet and all of this extra stuff, and people didn't get to pry into your life like that. You might have had one old nosy woman in the neighborhood that wanted to know everybody's business, but the whole world didn't have access to you. Okay, so recently I survived COVID. Now, I wasn't tripping about COVID to begin with because I was well prepared, and I do mean well prepared. So let me give you a brief account of what I felt. So last Thursday, I noticed that I had finished working for the day, and I got in bed, and I was laying there, and then I was like, like my feet are freezing and my hands are freezing. since I'm an energy healer and I work with my body every day, I'm just like, these things are a curiosity to me. I'd be like, interesting. So I said, interesting. And my hips, and lower back was just like aching. So I'm sitting up there, hands cold, feet cold, rubbing my hips, just laying there, just rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. So I finally get to sleep. I wake up the very next day, stomach just not feeling well, just like feeling like full of gas, and just lower back just feel like somebody just kicked the mess out of me just like 100 times, okay? So I'm still pushing through, I'm still working, and along the way I just have to stop and just like throw up, because I'm like, ugh. And then I just felt the need to, like, I just wanted to rest. So I was down for one day. I was down for one day. The next day I felt good. I got my golden seal tincture. So if you check one of my videos, I was making golden seal tincture about a year ago. So like I said, I was well prepared. So I started taking my golden seal tincture. I brewed up some ginger and some garlic, because garlic has been shown in studies to help people recover from COVID and to prevent people from having COVID. I had already been taking vitamin D for over 3 years, so I was cool on that. I had been taking ashwagandha for over a year, so again, I was well prepared. And I just started just hydrating. And for, I would say, about maybe 2 or 3 more days, I still had the gut issue, because the virus replicates within the gut. And in my opinion, COVID, based upon what I experienced and based upon what I already know about my body, COVID attacks the weakest part of your body, like most viruses. And I had already had some gut issues from some food intolerances. So it was just the prime target for COVID to have a field day. And because of that, I attacked the gut as well. So ginger, garlic, golden seal, I was on it, okay? I was on it. Hydration, energy healing. And so, and I wore a back brace just to give myself a little bit of support because of my gut. Because it was to the point where I would walk and my gut felt like a brick. Like I would walk and then it would just make my back hurt. So I did back massages and everything to try to get whatever was trapped out. I didn't really want anything to eat. I started off just hydrating with just fluids. And then when I did have an appetite, I only wanted Thai food. So I ate Thai food, which is amazing and fresh and really, really good. And then because my body was into recovery mode, I started doing yoga. Like I no longer had any more excuses as to why I could not get up every day in the rising and do yoga. So my body wanted me to get up at 5 a.m. every day. So 5 a.m. every day I would get up and I would do stretches and do yoga and positive thinking and trauma healing and grounding and everything else. So that's where I'm at. I was still testing positive for COVID, but like I said, body was not feeling ill at all. So yeah, I was, I'm good. Like, I'm good. The key thing is when you do get COVID or any sickness, you can't lay in the sickness. You have to fight and work your way through it. Do not lay in the sickness. And if you allow your body will do the things that it need to do. Like I have a vibration plate, y'all. It goes like this. You stand on it, it goes like this. Every day, when I got up, I got on that vibration plate so I can get things moving and flowing within my body, so I can get that heart rate up. Any fluids that was stagnant overnight, I shook everything loose. And I'm still getting up and I'm still doing yoga. I'm still hydrating. I'm still taking my golden seal. Golden seal is amazing. I grew up with it. Amazing. Yeah, and so that's what's been going on off social media. Got COVID, cured myself from COVID, and doing yoga, because as we age, we start to constrict and things start to get tight in our body. And working out is fine, but flexibility is key. These skeeters is going to town on my body, okay? But yeah, flexibility is key, and that's something that we just can't get away from, because if we don't make our bodies flexible and our minds flexible, then we just start to deteriorate, and we have aches and we have pains, and we get out of bed and we just all humped over, and we can't pick up something without making a ooh sound, and it's just an absolute mess. I watch on YouTube 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds, and they're in shape, especially up in New York. There's this guy's channel, I think Bernard or something like that, and he likes to highlight like the 80-year-olds and the 60-year-olds and the 70-year-olds doing squats, doing pull-ups and chin-ups, and I'm like, okay, there is absolutely no excuse why I'm over here ooching and on and can't hardly move, other than sheer pure laziness. And social media makes you lazy. Absolutely. Because you can't see anything else but that false world. Your head down in that phone 24/7. I mean, I don't know if y'all heard about how some clubs, you know, you be like, you know what, you can leave the club for 5 years, come back, the same people sitting in the same spot, doing the same thing, talking about the same thing. That is essentially social media. You ain't missing out on nothing. People still living in their misery. They still using social media to complain about their misery. They're still using social media to beg people to support their businesses, and people have no intentions on supporting their businesses because they don't even support themselves. So it's just an endless cycle of like, why isn't anyone supporting me? Well, you know, everybody is not a supporter, and it's just simply what it is. They don't even support their own selves and their own endeavors. So supporting you, it's a stretch. But yeah, what is it? It's 12/12. Ooh, that's a good number, y'all. 12/12. And I'm just gonna round it up. I'm here in beautiful Florida. I am so grateful that I can experience Florida life. I do have some plans, if all goes well, to visit Belize again, and I am going to do a part 2 of the Children of the Olmec Return. Since part 1 got so many racist people upset in their feelings, I figure I would rekindle that feeling for them and go back to the Temple Mask and do another video 6 years later. All right, peace.